Now, here's someone who may not have appreciated the comments that Ted was making just now. It's Calvin Peach, the PCMHA for Bellevue. No doubt you were listening to the Liberal leadership debate tonight, were you?
Well, I was on the way out from St. John's tonight, and I had it on, and I was listening to it for a while there. Yes, Paddy?
Pete?
I was listening to it, as everybody else, I guess, but, you know, no trouble to tell Ted's stripes, you know, spoken as a true Liberal, I guess. You know?
Well, he suggests that there's more and more all the time. Obviously, the polls would probably suggest that there is some work to do, but the Premier spoke today about that, Calvin. She said that she's not going anywhere, that she understands that people aren't always happy when they have to endure the things that must be done, and not that it doesn't affect her, but she's not going to let it dissuade her, and she's fully expecting to carry on and lead the team.
Well, you know, we can look at the leadership debates that was on tonight. You know, we listen to the different views of each one of those candidates, and saying one thing and delivering is another thing. You know, and when I look at the Premier, this present Premier of this province now, and I'm going to give you my honest opinion on it. You know, that is that this Premier that's there now is probably one of the most knowledgeable people that's in Newfoundland when it comes to the portfolios and how to run government, because she has been a negotiator. She was a chief negotiator under Natural Resources. She was a chief negotiator for Hibernia. She was a chief negotiator for Hebron. She was a chief negotiator for ExxonMobil. She was the only Premier that had negotiated for females to be into the skilled trades and get into the workforce. You know, she has been really effective for the province, and you know, the polls are down. Yes, the polls are down because of the budget that we had this year, and a lot of the perception right now is because of the polls and it's a reaction, or because of the budget and it's a reaction. You know, but I can't. Myself, I would put our Premier up against any candidate in Newfoundland when it comes to the knowledge and the knowing of what's happening in the province with regards to the oil industry. Our economy is booming. And we're doing really, really well.
Well, you know, it can't be all the budget. We've had bad budgets before, or, you know, budgets that people see as tough budgets. You know, a lot of people bring up the fact that they don't necessarily always appreciate our communication style, and also, of course, Bill 29 keeps coming up. People keep going back to Bill 29. Do you think those things are playing a factor?
Well, you know, Bill 29 may be playing a factor because of the opposition, the spin that the opposition have put on Bill 29. I sat through Bill 29, and the opposition keeps saying, you know, we were filibustering through Bill 29. Mm-hmm. What did we filibuster under Bill 29? If somebody go back and look at the at Hansard and see what we filibustered under Bill 29, when we only we filibustered two nights on one word change in Article 6. That's as far as we got was Article 6 until, you know, the filibuster stopped, and then we start going through the articles and voting on them as, you know, as government and opposition.
Yeah, but the filibuster happened because people didn't like the notion of Bill 29, and that is essentially that you have an ability there to withhold information on pretty much any pretext if you really wanted to. You could call anything, you know, what were the two terms that people were using? Frivolous and vexatious?
That's right, yeah.
Pretty much covers an awful lot of stuff, doesn't it?
But you know, one thing that people have to realize, that this Bill 29, this Bill 29 in 2003, when our government took over in 2003, Bill 29 was ready to go to the table in that fall setting. Under the Liberal Party. The Liberal Party brought in Bill 29, the Liberal Party, I should say, wrote Bill 29. The PCs brought it in because it was ready to go to the table in the fall of 2003. So it really was a bill that was carried over by this government from...
No, they may have written it, but I mean, you guys brought it in, so clearly you agreed with it and think it's a good thing.
But if we didn't bring it in and the Liberal government would have formed in 2003, that bill still would have come to the table in 2003.
Well, they'd be getting headaches from it then.
Yeah, but still. What makes it right or wrong?
Just because they would have brought it in doesn't mean you had to bring it in.
No, I wasn't there then, so I can't speak for back in 2003.
No, I'm saying right now when you brought it in,
that bill was hidden for the House of Assembly in 2003 at election time. That bill was ready to go to the House of Assembly by the past government, and then you know how things work. I mean,
but you're not bound and determined to bring it just because they were going to bring it. You can't sidestep the fact that the Conservative Party decided to bring it in. It becomes their bill then.
It was their baby at that time.
But you didn't have to. You didn't have to bring it in. You could have just thrown it out, just like that happens all the time.
Well, like I said, I can't speak for them because I wasn't there. But all I can say is that this bill was ready to go to the table back then, and it's like this government now. I mean, we'll have things ready to go on the table in 2015, and some of it will be carried over by the next government, and they'll be able to run it. And that's how it usually happens. You know, it's like town councils. I mean, we got town councils that are changing over now in the fall.
But surely the people who bring it into law
before, so the other town councils got to live with it.
But the people who bring it into law are the ones responsible for making it have an effect on people, and they're the ones who are going to wear it. Essentially, it doesn't matter where it comes from in the beginning.
And we are, and the thing is, we're as you can see. Yeah. But the thing is, though, is that in Bill 29, when it was brought in 2003, one of the clauses that was in there was that it had to be reviewed and amendments had to be made in 5 years. So there had to be some, meetings on this, and meetings were on it, and was brought forward with the changes in 5 years, because that was one of the recommendations that was in Bill 29.
Yeah.
But what I called about, Petty,
Pete, it's Pete Soucy.
I know you got a lot of listeners waiting, and
Calvin,
probably coming.
Calvin, it's Pete Soucy here. Patty,
Pete, I'm sorry.
Patty's on in the afternoon. It's okay.
I'm sorry, Pete. What I called about, I wanted to bring up something that's happening in my district this weekend, and
Calvin, I apologize, but we're going to have to be very quick about it because we've used up all our time, actually, and more. But go right ahead. Let's mention it briefly.
The Children's Wish Foundation. There's a group in Arnold's Cove that fundraise for the Children's Wish Foundation. They do a 10-kilometer walk or run, on Saturday. This year they're doing it this Saturday.
Okay.
Each year they do that to raise funds for the Children's Wish Foundation.
Okay.
And anybody who wants to sign up, the registration's from 9 to 10:30. I think the race starts. Also at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they're going to be having entertainment at the Lions Club until 2 o'clock in the morning. All proceeds goes towards the Children's Wish Foundation, and we want to welcome everybody to come along.
Fantastic.
And to take part in that event. And also, don't forget New Harbour Days is starting this Saturday too as well, and they have an all-day event, and they have a dance in the evening. So there's a couple of things there to take part in my district. So we invite everybody to come along and enjoy themselves.
Okay, sir. Listen, thanks again. Sorry we ran out of time to spend on those things, but you got them in there, and I'm sure they're going to be well attended. Very important things going ahead.
Thank you very much.
Okay, good night.
Good night.